prepare yourselves for marginally acceptable content right here, right now, as I review the Ruger SR1911 series of pistols. Are you excited for this marginally acceptable content?
Yeah, kind of, Nutton. I guess I'm excited.
Okay, I'm glad for that. By the way, I've done a lot of shooting with this gun. The data is in, opinion is formed. It's time for the GRV. We're going to have a great time. If you have this gun already, I know some of you do have a Ruger SR1911 of whatever flavor. This is model number 6700, the quintessential full-size stainless steel wood-gripped SR1911. I'm probably going to make you feel real smart. Yeah, I'll probably make you feel wise for having purchased it. Now, I know it's taken me a long time to get around to reviewing this gun, but I'm not really into 1911s. I think you guys know that who have been watching the project for, I don't know, 14 years? or some like 10 years, 12 years, 8 years. We got anyone who's over like 5 years watching TMP is old school. Says me. So I've talked about this. I'm not Mr. 1911. I don't like live, eat, breathe, and dream about 1911s. That being said, I like a good 1911. It makes me happy. It does. And by the way, this is really important. I love shooting them in my drills. Yeah, speaking of which, you may see a comeback for the sledgehammer drill in TMP. Maybe it's time to, cone please,
Resurrect it from the dead.
Maybe. How about eat lead? That's a fun drill. Combat shotguns paired up with your pistol. So you're doing pistol shooting, combat shotgunning. You're going back and forth. I set up these really challenging courses in the desert wilderness. Exhausting is what they are. They are exhausting. Exhausting to set up, exhausting to run, exhausting to clean up. Welcome to TMP. Everything's that way, but it's worth it. You might see those make a comeback. But until then, you can dig into the archives of the Nutnfancy project and see me running a gun like this. The Smith & Wesson 180-303 stainless steel 1911. Just like that one, except has a pick rail. So in Eat Lead drill, I use this because I kind of think that a 1911 for me, and the way I shoot and the way I can shoot them, is kind of a ringer. Really consistent single action trigger, great grip, great sights, and when I'm running a drill, I kind of want the odds to be in my favor because, again, I'm exhausted. I'm, switching back and forth between guns, and I'm sure the 3-gunner guys are the same way. They're like, yeah, we want every advantage we can. But I'm kind of talking briefly about philosophy of use before we go into the specifics of the 1911 or the SR1911 series, and I will discuss the entire series in this tabletop. But that's me. I love a 1911. I love shooting them. They're fun. I don't think they recoil that much in a steel frame. And dude, that's where it is for me. It's a range toy, a course gun for me. Philosophy of use for me. Well, I did a long video on it years ago. You should probably look it up. I know a lot of you guys have seen it, and girls have seen it going way back, but it might be worth a refresher. I feel exactly the same way now. I wouldn't change anything I said in that video. It's called 1911 Philosophy of Use. How do I perceive them being used today with all the advanced polymer handguns, lightweight guns, and all that? It's all there. For me, car gun, no. Home defense, no. Without rule of law, definitely not. BOK, definitely not. Collectible, yes. Yes, a gun that just makes you happy. We're talking second cool here. And yes, even a Ruger SR1911, which is a high value piece. So these guns are not going to break the bank like an Ed Brown, a Wilson Combat, an STI. No, dude, it's gonna be affordable, relatively speaking. And yeah, it's fun. If you just like shooting them at the range, collecting them, I think that's completely valid reason to own, frankly, any gun. And that's really why most folks own guns. Really, I mean, self-defense, yes. Without rule of law, yes. But I think a lot of people just like the enjoyment level. And if you're reloading for your 1911, better. So the cost of shooting a 45 ACP, this is of course chambered in. They do make a 10 mil That's excellent. That's number 6739, the 10 mil SR1911. Very exciting. But yeah, if you're reloading, then you can shoot them a lot more. It's fun. Very fun. So here we go with the tabletop and the specifics. And I'll cover features, how did it shoot, and then would I buy one. You're really going to like that part, by the way, because I'm going to give you kind of some specific guidance of which models in the SR lineup that I like personally. And we will get to that. First things first, I've got to make sure everything on the table is appropriate for a 39 ounce steel frame 1911. Let's see. We'll go through this real quick. We got magazines. Yeah. What's this one? Chip McCormick. It's a Kimber 10 round. Got a Smith & Wesson over here. Factory Ruger mag in the gun right there. Oh, TMP Boker AK-74 with a hawk bill. Been hearing from you guys and gals who ordered it in TMP Patreon. Digging it. They got it in person. They're like, dude, it is so much more impressive in person. I would agree. Not that it's like, it's not like over the moon, but it's cool. It's just different. Speaking of second cool, speaking of collectability. Huh. Just what I said in that review. GWN 1000 Golfmaster. One of the first, I would say expensive watches. Not really that expensive, but for me it is. That I reviewed in TMP, and several TMPers bought it, and they love it. I got a blue one too. This one's my white. So excellent. T28 Trojan, 1/72 scale. Ammo on the table. Yep, appropriate. Another 1911 coming up for review. You can read the slide. Watch for that one. TMP patches, nutnfancybigcartel.com. I know, we need to make some more, but Tactical Doodle runs that, and he's lazy. What can I tell you? I can't make him do it. I tell him, and he just doesn't get it done. I know. Oh, wait about this. Light and everything. That's not appropriate. So, I'm sorry. With a 39 ounce steel frame 1911, that cannot be on the table. Light and everything. Light in a 1911? Well, maybe. We're going to circle back to that when I get to, you know, versions. What should I put right here, dudes? Should I put something there? I got all kinds of other things.
No, nothing. You got enough crap on the table. Press on.
Okay, I'll just leave it open. Now, I know it's been a long time since this gun has been out. I get it. But guess what? I'm not part of the gun launch media. And once in a while, I will remind my folks here in TMP about that. I'm an outsider. And most gun companies don't really care for me that much because I do give them negative press. And have, and will continue to do so. Ruger's that way. I don't think Ruger digs me. There was a... I don't want to go into it. Oh, crap. I said it now, and I got to tell you. Okay, years ago, one of my viewers wanted this one gun to be reviewed. They contacted Ruger. Hey, can you get a loaner gun to Nutnfancy? And they said, well, we would, but he's not a legitimate reviewer. There you go. So that was Ruger. I'm an adult, though. I don't hold grudges. I always want all the gun companies to do well, but I'm super honest. But I'm not taking money under the table like a lot of reviewers do. I don't take freebies from the manufacturers like a lot of reviewers do. And so that means it will take me a while to get the piece for a review. And they're not going to text or phone call me prior to its release saying, hey man, do you want to be part of this launch? And even if they did, I'd go, no, thank you. No, I don't. I don't want to be in cahoots with you guys at all. And that goes for every manufacturer. Ruger, Marlin, Remington, Walther, you name it. I love them, but from a distance. That's TMP. And guess what? That works year to year. The only thing I'm supported by is you guys and gals. Nutnfancy, TMP Patreon. You should join. That is the only reason I still make videos. Yeah, I may use another donation service if that one crumps. It's taken me a while to get around to it, but I said at the outset, I'm not like Mr. 1911. I'm not like dreaming about him as I go to sleep. Oh, I wish I had the perfect 19... No, I'm not. So I get around to it. When I do, here we go with features. It's 39 ounces. Is a steel-framed one. Now, I was kidding around with that light and everything. Is it really appropriate for a 1911? The answer is, depends on what you want from your gun. If you're going to be shooting in a competition, which I didn't really cover in philosophy of use, but I do in that other video, then you don't want a lightweight handgun. You want something with some solid weight. It settles the guns down. It allows you to do quicker follow-up shots. It is less fatiguing. A lightweight gun in this caliber, 45 ACP or 10 mil for that matter, dude, if it's a lightweight piece, it's just more fatiguing for you to shoot. So if you're like me and you're going to use it as a range piece, a recreational piece, then the weight is completely perfect. 39 ounces. Now, years ago, like many years ago, like a decade ago here in TMP, I do a 1911 review, and guys would roll in and say, hey, I do EDC a steel frame 1911. And some of you guys still may do it. I've never met anybody personally doing it. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. They might be doing it with an officer-sized, a commander-sized 1911, maybe an aluminum frame 1911. That is much more doable. For me to pack around a 40-ounce gun, hells no. No way, dude. No way. But for shootability, for enjoyment, like I've always said, the weight is fantastic. We go to the finish first as we talk about features of this model. It's 6700, I believe. Notice that there's really no sharp edges in this. One of many things that Ruger has done right. Look at that. So it's, I don't know if it's dehorned, but it's pretty darn close. So that's cool. I like that. It looks great. It's a very handsome gun, especially with these balsa wood grips. What do you mean they're not balsa wood? Sure, they're balsa wood. They just freaking stain them and they checkered them. It's balsa wood, dude. Yes, I'm kidding. Tactical Doodle is not here, so I have to say something that he would say. That's exactly something he would say. Well, it's balsa wood. I don't know what those are. Walnut or cocobolo. Checkered. They have the Ruger medallion in them. They're not overly thick, so they don't really increase the circumference of the grip. I really like the overall look of the gun, of this one. It looks really handsome and more expensive than it should be. We'll go to the grips again since we're here. Double diamond grips, very common in a 1911. Do I wish that they had, I don't know, G10 or plastic or rubber grips? There's other variations in the line, so you can get whatever you want, and you can easily swap them out. Just standard 1911s. I think most folks who have 1911s have different grips, and I'm that way. I do have 1911s, believe it or not. I do, and I've shown them to you. And I'll swap them out occasionally. It's just a second cool thing, maybe a first cool thing, especially if you're a competitor or using it to shoot in a match of some sort. Great job on the grip. So the traction is not great. So it's like press checkering, not really cut checkering. Yes, I have gloves on, but whatever. Overall, it's nice. I like it. Kind of a miss for me is that there's no serrations or checkering on the front strap. This is a cost-saving measure. Would I rectify this by putting something on it? Absolutely, I would. I would probably just put skateboard tape on it and see if it would stick. Either polymer skateboard tape or like the sand paper style, because I really like traction on this front strap if I can do it. Now this Smith & Wesson 180303 has front serrations here. So that's something. I like that. And then this Kimber, you guys probably already figured out it was a Kimber. This has 30 lines per inch right up in here. Coolio. Nice. Oh, by the way, this gun is from Handgun Haven. So round of applause for Handgun Haven. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Adam, sorry, dude. I think I may have like done a little Vulcan hit on this one. These are loaner guns, dude. So I hope he doesn't mind. I told him, I was like, hey, man, I can't guarantee you that I won't put wear and tear on him. I try not to, but damn, son, we're out in the desert doing combat drills. Stuff happens, and you guys know. Curse of the desert, for sure. For sure. So that's the front strap. The mainspring housing is flat. It is checkered. I like that. It is metal. I like that. There's your grip safety with the bump. It disengages easily. Beaver tail to prevent slide bite. Very common 1911. Do a safety check on this sucker. Yep. Take this out. Ring hammer in the SR1911. It's MIM'd, as are a lot of their parts, and I don't have a problem with it at all. At all. There's a lot of MIM'd parts in your Glock. They seem to work pretty good. I've had that discussion so many times, I ain't going to have it no more. MIM'd is just fine. For second cool, if you want forged, I say get forged. I don't want to pay any extra for it, though. That's what I've always said. I love forks, but I don't want to pay any extra for it. So there you go. So ring hammer. And then we have a single-sided safety on the SR1911. And I don't know if all the versions are this way, but this one is. It's set up for righties. So if you're a lefty, Jardine, you may not like this gun so much. A lot of the other ones, to include this Kimber, this is a tactical custom tube, by the way. It's fully ambidextrous. Well, more ambidextrous than the SR series. I think it's really interesting that the plunger tube is cast into the frame. This part right here is not separate on the Ruger SR1911. That's kind of cool. It's a cost-saving measure, right? And it just kind of makes sense. Yeah, so that's kind of an upside, I guess. Let's check the positivity of the safety. I'll rank it 0 to 5 stars. 5 stars is absolute perfection. I'm big on this, by the way. Really big on this. I've ranted about it in other 1911s. I think your safety should be extremely positive because a lot of us are firing like that, and it's really easy to bump it up while you're firing. Dude, I've done that so many times. I'll rank it a 2.5 in positivity. That's not awesome, but it's not horrible. It's about mid-pack. And usually it just boils down to putting a stronger spring in the plunger tube here so it impinges on the thumb safety stronger. Okay. Could you rectify that? Probably, but we're just talking about how it comes out of box. Standard serrations on the slide. There's your slide release, standard on that. We have a bushing up front. That's all standard. It really is kind of just a general 1911. And they did talk to some folks before they came out with it. I guess Novak helped, Pullet helped design it, and they just said, hey, these are the features we would like in a basic, really good 1911. So, not bad. I think they did a good job. Speaking of Novak, there's those Novak sights. Yeah, those are low mount Novaks. I really like them. They're very excellent. 3-dot variety. Don't mind that at all. Internal extractor, of course. Flared ejection port, somewhat enlarged. Nice polishing going on there on the barrel. And they actually hand fit the barrel locking lugs to the slide. Yeah, at Ruger. That's cool. And they make this, as you can see, in Prescott, Arizona. Another upside. And I think that's features. There are some things missing from this gun if you are a 1911 fan. I talked about the front strap, how it's smooth. There's no pick rail here like the Smith & Wesson. And by the way, this is one of my 1911s. So there are versions, I think, that do have a pick rail if that's what you want. If you're going to use it as a home defense gun, I wouldn't. I have a lot better guns I'd rather put into that philosophy of use, but maybe you have, but maybe you just want a 1911. I would go with a pick rail version. That's not there. And then we don't have any special treatment on top of the slide, right? To minimize glare, no milling of any kind, no rib running up here. But it's a good basic 1911. Oh yeah, the trigger, almost forgot. It's aluminum, and then on my scale, safety check it again, it pulls a very nice, actually, 4 pounds, 15 ounces, so almost 5 pounds. So I pulled it off camera like, I don't know, 5 times, and so it averages around 412 to 415. Really nice trigger. I mean, I wouldn't do any work on this trigger at all, which is saying a lot, because some 1911s, value 1911s, their trigger's not so great. Reset right there. Just an excellent trigger. Over travel stop if you care. And that's features. How did it shoot? Well, out of the gate, on its first outing, I did have one stoppage, and guess what? That was it. That was it. That was the only stoppage I had, and I can forgive a couple stoppages. Not just in a 1911, and I have talked about this a lot before in past years, but in any gun, really. 1 stoppage here, 2 stoppage here, okay, that's cool. And then if it goes beyond that, then I start investigating and asking some very hard questions. But I only had 1 jam, and I was using a variety of loads. I had some Celler and Bellet, some Federal, I had some SIG ammo, and that's what this is. The hollow points I shot were SIG, 230 grain hollow point, like this right there. And it worked great. And here's another upside. this is huge for me personally as a 1911 semi-enthusiast. Semi-enthusiast. It worked with every magazine that I own. Now, to be completely honest with y'all, I don't like try to do something scientific and go, well, will it work with this Chip McCormick? Will it work with this Kimber 10 rounder? It's just a grab bag. It's very organic how I test the guns. And I do swap in a bunch of different magazines. Here's one from Smith & Wesson. This one is Wilson Combat 10 rounder. And there is a 1911 with this particular gun, magazine. It didn't like it and it didn't work. And it really is kind of a showstopper for me because I don't want to have to go out and buy more 10 rounders for it. Now, you guys who are 1911 folks will go, well, what are you using a 10 rounder for? It's because of the drills, like I said. So if I'm running an eat lead drill, I'm running a 10 rounder. It's just less reloading, makes more sense. And so I'm just talking about doing range games with your 1911. That's when I'd run a 10 rounder. If I'm, like I said, it's not a without rule log gun for me, but if it is for you, would I recommend, you know, a 10 round magazine sticking out the bottom of your gun? I don't know, it's up to you. If that's what you want, you can. I sure have modeled that in TMP forever. I mean, horizontal carry with this Smith & Wesson and my PD, the Scandium frame, I show it all the time, just like this 10 rounder sticking out, because we're running drills out there. By the way, there's some beveling going on there in the SR. Kind of cool. So that's a big win for me that no matter what magazine I used, it worked. So thumbs up, SR1911. I mean, that made me excited. Oh, and I didn't even pre-lube it, by the way. In case you're wondering. Didn't even pre-lube it. You know, just kind of went out there. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. This does have a titanium firing pin and no firing pin block. Kind of cool. So you could drop it with the safety off, and because it's a low mass firing pin, it's not going to ignite the primer. That's the bottom line on that. Fitted frame, fitted slide, by the way, shows itself here in a good barrel quality in our accuracy testing. Look at this, dudes. 9 yards standing, operational as I always call it. This is me shooting, standing in the desert with SR1911. And again, I'm showing you the footage. You can always enlarge it and you can actually see the holes hitting. There's no tomfoolery going on here. Fantastic. Look at that, dudes. Shooting pretty close to point of aim, which is a plus because these low mount Novaks are not adjustable. I guess you can adjust for windage in the rear dovetail here. And they're Colt dovetails, by the way. So if you don't like them, you put in a Colt parasites if you want. There's that one stoppage. I talked about that. Not bad. These are really good. 9 yards standing. Here's another one. I write in here, good trigger, and I sense accuracy. What do I mean by that? I can tell when a gun is just accurate. I've been doing this a long time, and so when a gun performs a certain way, and maybe I'm interjecting some human factors, and I know it's me, I'll say something like that. The gun is extremely accurate. American Riflemen shot the SR1911, and they got 1 1/4 inch groups at 25 yards. That's what I'm talking about. And I wrote this without even knowing that. I only found that out after all my testing was done, and I went and I read their article, their write-up. I'm talking NRA's American Rifleman magazine. They do good reviews, and they got 1 1/4 inch. And I was like, yep, good accuracy. Look at that group right there, dudes. Nice. So supremely accurate. From what I could tell, the loads that I fired it, and no, I didn't shoot it thousands of rounds. That did not happen, but it was reliable. So it's double thumbs up. Accurate and reliable. Fun. It has a great trigger. It is a really, really good 1911. That's what I'm saying. I really like it. And that goes to would I buy it in some competitive offerings? Maybe. I didn't really prepare so much for that. Absolutely I would buy it. I would buy this one. 6700. The 39 ounce stainless steel full size. I have no problems with this one at all, even though it doesn't have a pick rail. I don't need a pick rail for the drills I do. It is nice to have if I ever need it in an emergency, but it's nice. The box, by the way, sometimes I don't show this and I always forget, is right here. It's a big old plastic box. Comes with 2 magazines, I think like an 8 rounder and a 7 rounder. And I think I may have left the mags in here. Oh yeah, here's one right here. Polymer base plate, that's cool. There's your 8-round mag. I don't know why I didn't use that in the desert. Oh yeah, I do. Because I was just using my mags. It was less wear and tear on Handgun Haven's gun. That's why. That's why. Yeah, I would have no problem buying this one, the full-size one. But let's review other ones they have, and I am a little bit more excited about some of the other ones. I did mention the 10mm 6739er, I believe, is a 10 mil. Would I want a 1911 and a 10mm? I love 10mm. I love it, love it, love it. What I'm pausing on is the cost, and I'm not reloading 10. If I'm reloading, yeah, I would. It would be cool. I don't mind shooting 10 at all. I think it's a pussycat out of a Glock 29, Glock 20, and maybe this Ruger 40-ounce Ruger as well. I know 45 ACP is expensive to shoot too. Well, I don't know. It'd be cool to have. The only thing is it's going to be a longer grip. That's a longer cartridge, and so if you have smaller hands, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's more of a reach for you. By the way, it's a PRG 600 Yankee watch being worn today. That's my EDC watch. Fantastic. Solar powered. Altimeter, barometer, compass. Yeah, it also has a bullshit detector in it too. That's weird. Didn't know they even put that in there. Another one I really like is the Officer one. That's 6758. It has a 3.6 inch barrel, and it has an aluminum frame, and it's only 27 ounces. And then you have the Commander one. It's 29 ounces. It has a 4.25 inch barrel. I think I'm a little bit more excited about those, to be completely honest. Why do I say that? And I'm just talking about me, because in my inventory and as cast members in TMP, I already have some steel 1911s, which I absolutely adore. I think Smith & Wesson puts together a great 1911. This is the older school one. It's not the E-Series, but man, I love it. And you can watch my review on that. It would be really fun to put in as a cast member either an Officer at 27 ounces or Commander at 29 ounces aluminum framed SR 1911s. I'm really excited about those. Those are actually the ones I would like to buy. There you go. They have a competition one and a target version too of the SR. Either way, I think they are fantastic. I'm not going to say they've cornered the market. There's a lot of great high-value 1911s out there at about the same price point. I have a very inexpensive one that I reviewed not too long ago. It'll post, I don't know, somewhere around, I don't know where. We'll post near this video. I don't know. I've got so much content, it's hard to fit it through the tiny funnel of TMP. But that one shot fantastically. It's very inexpensive. It is offshore produced. I'm not going to say this United States made fantastic Ruger SR1911 is the best there is in the market. I can't say that. I'm just saying that it is a great option. It's good looking. I think it represents excellent value. I think it will last more than you will. You're going to hand it down to your kids. This Ruger 1911 series is fabulous. They're well made. They're good looking. They're accurate. They're reliable. They're fun to shoot. They have good triggers. They're made in the United States. That is a plus with a lot of folks. They'll outlast you. They will. You'll hand it down to your kids, assuming guns are still legal then. Yeah, well, guess what? You'll do it anyhow. So your kids, your grandkids will inherit it. Dude, Ruger really got it right with this gun, as they have with a lot of their guns. I mean, this is a fantastic series of pistols. I can't say anything bad about them. They represent high value, great looks, and I actually want one. I really do. Nutnfancy review complete. Thanks for being part of TMP Patreon, keeping the project going. Link below. It's never too late to join. Some folks go, wow, I feel stupid joining this late. No, don't feel stupid. Come on in. The water's fine. Great community over there in Patreon. They will get this video first, and then months later sometimes it will post on the main channel. That's just the way it is. Thanks so much. I really appreciate the support. This is what was a really fun project to do. Shooting, testing, and then reviewing the excellent Ruger SR1911s. Over and out. Hey, wait just a minute. The review is not over. I know, you thought it was. You were getting out of your theater seats, going to the car, dumping out your popcorn. No, I have something more I want to tell you about. I briefly mentioned it, kind of, in the review. Ruger's Custom Shop puts together a very special SR1911. It is expensive, about $2,500. But for a very high-end 1911, it might be worth it. It's worth your consideration. It has a lot of cool things on it if you're willing to go to that price level. And it is a custom shop gun, which gives it a second cool. Has hoe grips. It comes in either a 9mm or 45 ACP. So 45 ACP is 8+1. 9mm is 10+1. It's hand-fitted. And that can be said kind of same for this one, because hand-fitted, slide to frame, the lugs, but more so on that custom one. Has a Koenig low mass hammer, and he helped put the gun together, design it, I guess, figure out its features. Flat trigger, I'm not super enamored with that, but some people will be. It's stainless steel, nitrided in black, I believe. Has a checkered front strap, so 30 lines per inch. Polished feed ramp. And it has an optic front sight, so it has kind of a, you know, a fluorescent bead on the front, unlike these low mount Novaks. And unlike this frame, it has an undercut trigger guard. So this one does not, but on the Ruger Custom Shop one, it goes higher, so you can get a higher grip on it. That's kind of cool. And then it has an aluminum tech well in it. It's kind of a flared magazine well. I don't really like those too much. This Kimber has one on it. And unless you have a really thick base pad on your magazine, it's kind of hard to make sure it goes in. But if you're going to compete with it or shoot real drills with it, all the competitors use this. So they have a flared add-on magazine well, and the Ruger Custom Shop will as well. And then it has a bunch of forged parts, is my understanding. For instance, it's not a MIM'd slide stop, it's a forged slide stop in the Ruger Custom Shop SR1911. Yes, it is expensive, and that puts you in a price category with a lot of stiff competition from major players in the 1911 world. But if you love Ruger and you want a hand-fitted SR1911, it is worth your consideration. Okay, I'm done now. I'm really done now. So you can leave the theater. Make sure you deposit your used popcorn container, your drink containers in their appropriate receptacles. Recycle if you can. Come back and see me again real soon. Have a nice day. Seriously, I'm out of here. I'm seriously done. That's all I have. I'm really done now. Okay, bye.